Hi guys, Cindy here from PleasantSims, and I'm just making this video as a thank you to my subscribers. I hit 100 subscribers today, and I'm so excited about that. When I started this channel, I just started it as like a hobby for myself, just sharing my Sims gameplay. I never thought very many people would be that interested in it, but apparently at least 100 people are, so I just want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to me and for continuing to watch my videos. I really enjoy reading your comments and talking to you about The Sims 2, so it's been really great. I've also learned so much from you guys. I love all the tips that you give me. I've learned about so many different new mods and so many things that I didn't even know about The Sims 2 that you guys have told me, so I really appreciate it again, and thank you so much for your subscriptions. Now, I've had several requests from subscribers to talk about how I keep track of my Sims, so I thought this would be a good time to share that with you. I use three primary tools to track my Sims. I use Flashnote, which is a program kind of like Notepad. I use a spreadsheet, and I also use WordPress. So I'm going to go over all three of those and show you exactly how I track my Sims. Okay, let's talk about Flashnote. This is a little program that I just couldn't live without. I find it invaluable for keeping track of my gameplay rules and notes to myself about the game. You could even use this alone without any of the other tools I'm going to show you. You could just make a new note for each of your Sims or households and just put all of their information right in there. I mean, you could use this in so many different ways, but I'm going to show you kind of how I use it just to give you an idea. So it's kind of like a notepad, but you can create a whole bunch of different notes and just switch between them very easily right here. For example, I have my ages here. I have my aging threshold rules. I have the ages for all my Pleasant View Sims. And I have my aspirations here, my career rules, my financial rules, and this is just a way for me to keep this for quick reference. So when I first started creating gameplay rules for my neighborhoods, I would just create a new note every time I came up with an idea or found something online that I wanted to incorporate into my rules. Now I have much more in-depth rules on my gameplay page on the blog, but I still keep these guidelines here just so I can look at them really quickly when I need to know something. And I also use Flashnote to plan my videos and keep episode notes and ideas for future episodes. I keep, like, here's my sim profile, so I just copy this information into my blog post to make sure that I get all of this information recorded for each sim. This is the kind of thing that you could just store in here for all your Sims if you wanted to. I have like skin tones. This is just for my reference so I know what the different skin tones are in SimPE. Just anything that you want to keep a note on, you can add here. You can see how useful this can be for your game, especially if you play a large neighborhood like I do. And then I have my templates. These are just templates that I use for YouTube and my blog post titles and stuff like that. I think I can open episode plans without spoiling anything. It might spoil a little bit, so don't look too hard. So this is where I plan my episodes, all of my future episodes for the blog, and I usually plan a season at a time. Plan it out. I'm not going to open up my video notes, university notes, or to-do list because I know that those have spoilers in them, but you can just kind of see how I use the tool. It's really easy to add a new note. You just click add new note and it adds a new one to the list. You can add a new add as a child note or add to top. It's really great. I love this. I highly recommend it if you play The Sims. And I will put a link to this program to download it in the description box if you want to try it out for yourself. And I'll also link to this from the Pleasant Sims blog. Okay, now let's get to the good part. This is my spreadsheet where I keep track of all of my Sims, and this is really where I do the nitty gritty like tracking of information. I came up with this spreadsheet many years ago whenever I first started playing The Sims, and I realized that I couldn't keep up with everybody in my head, and I needed to be able to see all, especially when you start getting a lot of Sims in a lot of households. So I just started keeping track of the information that I thought was helpful that I wanted to see, be able to see for each of my Sims, and it's grown and expanded over the years. First of all, you'll probably notice that I color coded, and here is my legend over here. It doesn't quite fit on the screen. But orange is for toddler, red child, blue is for teen, green is for young adult, purple adult, and gray is for elder. I only highlight the Sims that are not married. So the ones that are white are the Sims that are married. And the reason why I do this is because it's easy for me to see who's in the same age group and who might possibly be able to be paired up. So for example, I can see all of the red are children, and so I can say, oh, maybe Eva would need to be or could possibly pair up with either Bobby or Ivan or Kevin, something like that. Or, Gia, maybe she could pair up with Fabian or Ivan or Kevin. I don't know, some of those people are probably related, but I'm not thinking about it too much right now. That's just what I use it for. And all of these in the purple, they are already paired up, but they're not married. So it's subject to change if they're not married in my eyes. So I keep them highlighted. And then we have the next generation of toddlers, Primo, Odessa, and Quinn. And as you can see, there's only 2 girls and 1 boy in that generation, so I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to do about that. We might have to start bringing in some towny blood, but I'm going to think about that later. Okay, so that's the color coding. Now let's go through the different columns. The first one is rotation, and as you can see, I'm on the second rotation. I'm actually on the third rotation, but I don't change the rotation here until I finish that family for the week. And the reason why I started doing this a long time ago is because I would play, I might take a break from The Sims for a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months at a time. And when I came back, I'd want to pick up my neighborhood where I left off, and I could go in here and see where I was. Like if this was a 3 and everything else was a 2, I would know that I would be playing the Goth family next. So that's why I started doing that, and now it just helps me with planning my videos because I can see where I'm at a glance. Household name. This is based on, well, this is the household name. I based the household name on the oldest male in the family, and I just do everything by patriarchy because I'm an old fashioned southern girl, but you could do it any way you wanted to. If there's no male in the household, then it's the responsible female. Like Dina's the female in the Goth family, Nina is the founder in her family, and I call these the founders of the family. Then I have last name, first name, role. The role, of course, the founder, and then the relationship to the founder is basically what I consider role. So Cassandra is the wife of Don, Eva is his daughter, Primo is his son. Then I have their ages, and I use a 1-to-1 aging system where 1 day equals 1 year, 1 sim day equals 1 real life year. When I started playing when I started playing Pleasant View, I just sort of had to figure out the ages for the pre-made Sims that were already there, and I probably didn't get it exactly right, but it doesn't matter. I just needed a baseline to start from with them. So I just sort of added up all the days that they'd been alive and made that their age. And some of them I got right, some of them I got wrong, but I got everybody kind of close. My new generations, all their ages will be correct, all my born in game Sims. But it's all close enough. Then I have their zodiac signs, their aspirations, their lifetime wants, careers, the level in which they're in their career, and the actual job of that career. Like Cassandra is level 4 science, that's science teacher. And then I have their hobby, and the reason why I keep this here is so I can see, like, I see here that I don't know what Fabian's hobby is. So next time I play him, maybe I need to spend some time with him and try to figure out what his hobby is. And if I know their hobby, then before I play, I always review this and also my video notes to refresh myself on the Sims and their personalities and stuff. And I'll remind myself, okay, Primo's a fitness Sim. We're going to have him do some fitness stuff. He's going to jump rope and stuff like that. Okay, and then I keep the amount of money in their bank account. And as you can see, not everybody has money in their bank account. I only have my Fortune Sims have bank accounts, with the exception of if there's more than one family and one household, especially in college. I'll have everybody have their separate bank accounts so we can keep their money separate. If there was a roommate situation, I would do that. If I have a teen that has a part-time job, then I would have them have their own bank account so they could keep their money separate from the household funds. And I am so very glad that I do keep track of how much money is in their bank account, because I accidentally took out my mods folder when I was messing around with something, and I accidentally loaded the game without my custom content in, and it wiped everybody's bank accounts out whenever I put it back in. So I'm really glad I had all this written down so I know exactly how much everybody had. So if you have your Sims keep bank accounts with a hacked computer, I highly recommend you keep the amount written down somewhere just in case something goes wrong. You can give the money back to them. And then I have a personality column here, and this is where I just put a couple words about the Sims personality, and I just use this for my story. So then I can remember that Eva, she's romantic, she's a free spirit and an artist. I just put a couple things down. Like Fabian, he's nature loving and a free spirit. Gia is outgoing, active, fit, and she's high energy. And this just helps me to develop their personality. And I base this on their personality points and their zodiac sign and their hobbies and just, how I observe them to be in the game. And all of my Sims are different, which is why I love The Sims 2 so much. Generation this is how I keep up with who all goes to college and who all's in the same generation. I consider a generation to be one sim week. So any Sims born, and that's a round. So any Sims born in one round, they're all in the same generation. Generation 0 are the pre-made Sims that were already adults when I started playing the game. So that's Dawn, Cassandra, Dina, Nina, Darren, Brandy, etc. Generation 1 are the teens for whenever I first started playing, so that's Dustin, Angela, Dirk, and Lilith. Generation 2 are the children that when I first started playing, so that's Lucy, Alexander, Bo, and Deborah. And Generation 3 are my first born in game Sims. So that's Eva, Fabian, Gia, Bobby, Ivan, and Kevin. We had 6 babies born. Then Generation 4 are the babies born in my second round, and so on and so on. Then I keep everybody's partner or who I think they're looking like they're going to be a partner with. Now, before I shot this video, I had to go in here and delete some stuff because I didn't want to spoil anything for my future generations. So right now they don't have any partners because I don't want you to see what's happened that hasn't been published yet. But, I just keep everybody's partner. That's it. That's all there is to that one. And that will change obviously if somebody changes their mind about their partner. And then I just have a little note section. I usually it's mostly for when babies are due. That's mostly what I use it for. I used to put other stuff in these notes, but now I use my video notes mostly for that. Like, for example, somebody told me that Deborah should have a more grown-up hairstyle, and I agreed with that. So I put in my video notes for the oldie family, change Deborah's hair next time you play. So I just put little notes to myself so I can remember what I need to be doing in each episode. So that's really it. I also keep once a sim dies, I move them over here to the cemetery tab, and that way I can look over here and see all of my deceased Sims. Right now I only have 3 deceased Sims. But eventually I think this list is going to get pretty long, and I'll keep them grouped by family probably. Just so I can look back and remember them. I can see what age they died, what kind of sim they were, what kind of job they have. And I don't keep all of the same columns that I keep over here because it's not really relevant. I just keep the information that I want to be able to remember for those Sims. I also have a notes tab. I had to delete some of the stuff out of here because it had spoilers, but this is just where I keep random notes that don't fit anywhere else. I keep my names here that I'm thinking about, so I usually go 2 letters further. And as you can see, I had several names planned for the Lothario family, and I always have 2 letters planned just in case they have twins. So my next child born is going to start with an S. So I'm thinking Sabrina or Samuel, but it depends on the family. Like, as you can see, I had different names for the Lothario family because I tend to go for Italian names for them. So it just depends, but this is just kind of my brainstorming tab over here. I just put random stuff in there that I'm thinking about that doesn't really fit anywhere else. And next, the last tool that I use is my blog. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of that. And of course, this isn't necessary if you're just a normal Sims player and you're not like a YouTuber or anything, but you still might want to keep up with stuff. I mean, it's easy to get a free blog. You can get a blog at wordpress.com or you can get a blog at blogspot.com. I use wordpress.org, so I pay for my hosting and my website because I just like to have all the control over it. But what I do is I put a post up for every episode that I publish, and I put all parts in the episode, and then I have categories and tags and all that stuff. But the most important part of this is my pages. If it'll load, geez. So, I have my builds, downloads, my episodes. My episodes, this doesn't really have anything to do with tracking my Sims, so maybe I shouldn't go over this, but this is just where I keep a list, a very neat and tidy list of all my episodes in order. In case anybody wants to see that, I doubt anybody uses it because they're all on YouTube, but if you wanted to. Okay, and then so I keep my family trees here on the blog, and if I didn't, I would probably have like a spreadsheet or something if I didn't want to use a blog to keep. No, don't edit. View. So I keep a family tree. I also had a really nice subscriber who made a family tree for me that's actually like looks like a family tree, and I probably once it's done I'll probably post that on here too. But anyway, I keep my family trees just like this. And you can go to my blog and look at it, and feel free to copy that format if you would like to use it yourself. I really don't care. So the next thing is my sim profiles that I keep on my blog. So every single sim that I play has their own page. And let's just view Alexander Goth so you can see. So I keep a picture of them in their current life stage. Every time they age up, I change the picture. And if they're Maxis Made Sim, I put their Maxis bio. And then I keep, this is all the information that I keep on them. If I wasn't going to keep a blog, and I used to actually do this, I would put this information in the spreadsheet. So like their personality, their hair color, eye color, skin tone. And I do this because I like to see the genetics. So I would look at his children and I could be able to see, what color hair, what color eyes, what skin tone do they have. Their favorite color, their hobby, their turn-ons and turn-offs. So if I wasn't keeping my blog, these would just be columns on my spreadsheet as well. And then I keep a biography for them where every time I finish an episode, I just do a quick little write-up and a picture of what happened to the sim during that round. A lot has happened to Alexander. And then I have their little photo albums where I keep up with all of the screenshots that sim appears in. And that reminds me, the way that I keep track of my screenshots and my sim portraits is I have a folder on my computer. I actually have a separate drive just for my sim stuff because I have so much of it. This is also where I keep my spreadsheet. And I have an images folder where I have photo albums, and for each family, like let's go into the Brokes. And I have these are all the screenshots that I took for round 1. Let me go into a more recent one, like Lothario. So these are all the screenshots that I took during round 2 for the Lothario family, and that's just how I organize that if I want to go back and look for university, round 1, round 2. That's how I do that on for the photo albums. For the portraits, I have one for each family. And if we go here, I have Bo Broke as an adult, as a child, as a teen, as a young adult. And I just go into SimPE and extract these portraits for every life stage and keep those all in a folder for each family. So I can see how they looked during each life stage. So that's how I keep track of their pictures. So that's how I track everybody. It's pretty in-depth. But my Sims mean a lot to me, and I really like keeping up with their lives. It's fun. It's a fun hobby for me. Like I said, if you didn't want to do a blog, you want to go that far, you could just keep up with everything on the spreadsheet. That's what I used to do before I started doing YouTube. I just kept everything on here. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you would like to use this spreadsheet, I will upload a blank one that just has the headings and the tabs for you, and you could just download it and start putting your Sims into it if you want. I will put a link to that in the description box. For the final part of this video, I want to talk about plans for the channel in the future. I have so many plans for this channel and so little time to work on them. But first, when I was showing you my Flashnote earlier, you might have noticed there was some mention of Blue Water Village in there. Well, that's because I'm thinking of making a spin-off where I play the Blue Water Village Sims. So this would be a completely different series, but the Sims would still interact with my Pleasant View Sims because Blue Water Village is connected to Pleasant View, and I might even have some of my Pleasant View Sims move over to Blue Water Village or vice versa, and then they would switch series. I would be very interested to hear your thoughts on this. Would you be interested in watching a Blue Water Village series, or would you rather I just stick to Pleasant View, or do you have any other ideas that you'd like to see here on the channel? I would love to hear from my subscribers because I want to give you guys what you want, but while still playing what is fun and enjoyable to me. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Second, I plan to make this a Sims 2 and Sims 4 channel in the future. I've had a couple questions and comments about the Sims 4 and I just kind of want to share my thoughts on it. So, I think it's a beautiful game and it has a lot of potential, but it's just not done enough for me to play it yet. Like, I'm still waiting for a university expansion pack because I just can't tell my stories in a way that makes me happy without university. Plus, like, how in the heck are Sims able to become doctors and scientists without a college education? It bothers the crap out of me. Anyway, I do plan to play a series in The Sims 4 at some point in the future on this channel, but only when we have university. And an attraction system would be really nice too, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. Third is I want to start doing more speed builds and tutorials on the channel. I'm going to try to do at least one speed build and one tutorial per season, but more if I can fit them in or if they seem relevant to what I'm doing. I have a lot of plans for new lots for Pleasant View, and I might even replace some of the current ones like Dock Allen's and Interactive with better lots that I feel fit into Pleasant View better. So please, if there's anything you'd like to see for a tutorial, specifically in SimPE or modding or anything like that, or if you want to see anything in a speed build, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see. I won't promise that I'll do it, but I'm always open to suggestions. And this is a part of the channel that I've neglected, and I want to try to do more. So that's it. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was helpful. I know it's a lot, but if you just take what you want from this and use it yourself, I hope it helped you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you with a new Let's Play video very soon.